Hello! Today we're going to be looking at some more books in the library, but instead of me telling you about very specific books, I'm going to go ahead and tell you about some book awards that books can receive and authors can receive and illustrators can even receive that really kind of help distinguish these books from maybe just some other books in the library. So they could help you actually locate and select some books. Some of these awards are really well known and other ones aren't. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of both today. The first one that we're going to be sharing today is the California Young Readers Medalist Award, otherwise known as CYRM. The purpose of this award is to encourage recreational reading of popular literature among young people. This has been around for a number of years now, so you're going to be able to find a lot of these books that have been given the CYRM award. In order to have this book be considered for selection, they have to fall under certain criteria. So the first is that they have to be an original work of fiction. It can be an adaptation of an old story or an old tale, but the whole concept of the book does have to be original, so you're always going to find something new. The other thing is that one of the great things about this is you have got to make sure that this book has been published in the last 4 years, which means that you are going to find current and relevant material, which is just great, because this is sometimes where you find your newest and your best pieces of work that fall under the ones that have been awarded the CYRM. The other thing that you're going to kind of think that might be interesting is that in order for a book to win this award, the author has to still be alive. The reason that this whole award came about is because we wanted, the CYRM wanted to be able to honor and be able to showcase a variety of different book genres and formats that were really popular amongst children and teens. So in order for these books or any book really, to be considered up for nomination, is they have to go to the committee. This committee is created of 4 different organizations. You do have to apply to be on the committee, and there are about 13 members on the committee. And each committee member serves for 3 years. So what will happen with this award is that anybody, a student, a teacher, a parent, or anybody that really works with children or teens can nominate a book that they think is just spectacular. The committee members have to read all of the nominations. They have to read everything that gets nominated that falls under the correct criteria. And from there, the committee says, you know what, here are an X amount of books that we think are just above and beyond. And then what happens is those books get put back to the public, to our students, to you, to read and actually decide which books you feel are the winners. So the cool thing about this is that any book that has this medal was chosen by you, which is just, in my opinion, one of the coolest things about this award. Some of the books that you may have seen have won this award are Night Animals, The Day the Crayons Quit, Pax, and Wonder. So if you have read any of these books and you've loved it, you may want to look at other books that have won the CYRM award, or you may never heard of any of these books, but my recommendation is to really maybe look at some of them because I really think you might love them. Another award that's been around for a long time is the Newbery Award. Now, the Newbery Award, the reason that an author or a book would get this award is to really showcase a distinguished work that has contributed to American literature for children. So once again, we're really focusing on children's literature here. The criteria for selection has to be the books that are marked by eminence and distinction for children's literature. The author must be a citizen or resident of the United States. And once again, kind of like CYRM, it must be an original work. The history of the award dates back to 1921, when the award was proposed to the American Library Association. And really the purpose of the proposal for this award was really meant to help encourage original and creative literature that was geared towards children. The Newbery Award is actually the first children's book award in the world. So you can look at books all the way back in 1921 for books that have won this award. The committee members that are on here is a total panel of 15. They are on the panel for 1 year. They're on the committee for 1 year. And the members cannot be employed by any book publishing company or any trade book author or illustrator. So these people that are on this committee really have to be ones that are going to look and really consider all the books that are being proposed. Some of the books that you may have seen, Last Stop on Market Street, The One and Only Ivan, The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and Hello Universe. So once again, if you've seen these or have ever thought about reading them or have read them, my suggestion is to continue to look at other books who have won this award. The next one is a maybe lesser known book award, but this is the Thomas Riviera Book Award. The purpose of this award was actually created by the Texas State University College of Education, and it was created for Thomas Riviera. Sorry, a little history as well. It was created in 1995 to honor authors and illustrators who create literature that depicts the American or the Mexican-American experience. So really that's what all these books who have won this award are really about, the experience that Mexican-Americans have experienced, the real truth of what they have experienced. The criteria for these books is it must be a portrayal or representation of Mexican-American experiences. The books have to be engaging, avoid stereotypes, and reflect rich characterization, and it can be fiction or nonfiction. The history of the award is actually really neat because it was named after a very distinguished alumnus of Texas University named Thomas Riviera. Thomas Riviera was the first Mexican-American to have been selected for the Distinguished Alumnus at Texas State University. And after graduating from Texas State, Thomas Riviera went on to then get his Master's of Education in Education Administration and a PhD in Romance Languages and Literature. During this time, he had many works published in various locations, but his landmark novel was And the Earth Did Not Part. Thomas Riviera dedicated his life to education and that the belief that his culture should be represented more in literature. There's a number of different levels that the committees are that kind of look at these books. There is a award director, which has kind of oversees everything. There's a national committee and a regional committee. There are 6 members on the national committee and 20 members on the regional committee. Some awards that have been given to, or some books that have been given this award are Maybe Something Beautiful, How Art Transformed Neighborhood, Funny Bones, and The First Rule of Punk. The next award is the Caldecott Award. Once again, an award that is pretty well known. The purpose of this award is actually not to just be given to the book, but it's actually to be given to the illustrator. Illustrations can bring life to a book and life to a story. So the purpose of this award was really to honor that. The criteria for a book to be chosen is the illustrations had to be created by the artist named on the book. So it cannot have been made by some random person. The original works are represented for the first time, and it must be an American picture book. So it has to be a picture book. The history of the book actually, once again, dates back to the ALA the American Library Association, and is back in 1937. This is the second annual award that was ever thought of and given out. And it was meant to be given to the artist who had created the most distinguished picture book. The name of the book, or the name of the award, was named after Randolph Caldecott, who was considered one of the 3 most influential children's illustrators working in England in the 19th century. His illustrations were described as unique and had the ability to create a sense of movement, vitality, and action. The committee, very similar to the Newbery Award, has 15 members total. a 1-year membership for each of those, and members cannot be employed by a book publisher, by an author, or by an illustrator. Some of the awards that some of the books that have been given this award you may have seen before: Beakley, The Adventures of Beakley, An Unimaginary Friend; Finding Winnie, The True Story of the World's Most Famous Bear; Radiant Child, The Story of a Young Artist; and Wolf in the Snow. If you are interested in any of these books or seeing more of the books who have won awards, not just these 4, but any award, please don't hesitate to see myself, the teacher librarian, or your library technician at the circulation desk, or find us wandering around in the stacks looking for our own books to promote to you guys. We would love to help you locate books and locate these specific books if you'd like. And if you didn't see one that you may be interested in today, don't ever hesitate to ask for some help. I hope you guys found this to be fun and exciting and maybe give you guys some ideas on where to look for next. Have fun searching!